Good morning. It's Thursday and I'm about to bike to Anthology to meet my friend. The sun is still rising, so it's gonna be a good ride. Well, I woke up this morning with an extremely flat tire, which that's bad. But thankfully, yesterday my dad gave me like a portable pump. Like, what are the chances? It's so weird. So I'm going to use my slime pump to hopefully temporarily fix this. Okay, the house is a huge mess right now. So I'm gonna do a little reset. I'm gonna set you up here and, oops, did I change anything? Make this a time lapse, I suppose. To Bell Tire. I filled up the tire again because it was already getting low. And thankfully, like, the timing of everything is really perfect. My mom just left for a conference, I think in North Carolina. So I'm gonna drop off my car near the shop by their house, walk over, take her car, and use that for the next day or two, depending on how long this takes. That's so lucky. Anyways, so that's the next thing. Then I have to get ready for the rest of the day. Tomorrow is Derek's birthday. I don't think I mentioned that already. He's turning 33. So tonight we are going out to dinner for him. And then before then, me and Margot are going out to, I believe, Madison Heights to meet with somebody that claims that they're a clairvoyant. We'll see. I'm excited just because it's interesting. We've just been listening to this one podcast that talks a lot about, like, these experiences. So we were curious. We'll find out.
Before and after.
Yeah. Okay, we're going into our our thing with our medium.
And we don't really know what's gonna happen. Maybe we're not gonna be the same after.
This is, yeah, documentation, just in case. Maybe we'll be enlightened.
But we're not sure of what we're asking. So we're kind of letting her come up with whatever she feels in us. And we'll see.
Yeah, I feel good.
Do you?
Yeah. You feel good? Okay. Okay. I just got done with my session. I went first, and it was kind of perfect because I wanted to be able to come back out and debrief and, like, write everything down and think about it. Whereas Margot probably had a little more time to prepare, like, what she wanted to talk about. But let's get into it. So this is somebody that we found through a referral because I had been listening to this podcast and they were interviewing a clairvoyant and I was just like so intrigued. I don't know, there's just like something about this information. I mean, a lot of people don't believe it and that's fine. And I do think there's a lot of faking it, but I don't necessarily think that these things aren't possible and that people can't have a different connection to like energies and whatnot. And so whatever. I was talking to Margot about it after I had listened to this podcast and she was like, let's find one. Let's do it. And that's not something you necessarily Google because I'm sure we could have found this woman if we had Googled enough, but we just asked around because Margot knew somebody that went to see a psychic. I think she was more of a psychic, is what she said, than anything else, because she explained the differences anyways. So I was just open to trying it and seeing what she said, especially just when I'm in this phase of like trying to start a new career and like settle down with Derek and like, are we getting married or are we moving away? Things like that. So yeah, that I went into it just kind of, let's see what she says. And I didn't want to give her too much information. I just wanted to like give my name and see what she was going to say. So, to start, she did this like little prayer. I think she has like Christian roots, I want to say, because she did refer a lot to like God and Jesus. So I'm not sure how that plays into it, but that was something. So we started with a prayer and then you're supposed to state your name and then she just like grounds herself and starts to say whatever's coming to her mind. And at first she went like this ancestral route, which wasn't necessarily something I went in wanting to talk about because I don't really have that strong of a connection, or like my grandparents are really the only family that I've had that passed away. I think that's right. And I was so young when that happened, so it's not like I'm necessarily seeking out some connection, but she did talk about my grandma a little bit, but that it didn't really connect with me, so I think she was reading my reaction and was like, okay, I'm just gonna move on. And then we kind of got into like a little bit about me, or characteristics that I have. And so she talked about, I'm pretty confident. I follow my intuition a lot. Even if my parents aren't necessarily like on the same page as me, they love me and support me and have learned that I'm my own person and I'll figure it out. And I just remembered something. Okay. I wrote down what I remembered and I kind of lost track of where I was. Yeah, she was talking about my personality, and how it can clash with my parents and whatever, but they still love me and support me. But then we talked about my relationship. She was like, you've had 2 serious relationships before. And this one, it grounds you, and it seems like this is, the person that you're gonna start opening up with and will like really solidify something with. Which is true. I think Derek and I will get married. But she was talking about that, and she was like, maybe like next year, and perhaps like things are gonna fall into place starting in like between April and June. And you'll probably want to like start looking for a house maybe, or that like you're gonna do that and maybe get engaged. That was interesting. I think that is kind of our timeline. I mean, our lease ends in April, so we have to figure something out. Whether that be my job, his job, where we live, all those things. So we talked about that. We talked about family, like kids. She said, you'll have 2 right away and then maybe a 3rd later. And I see it being girl, boy, girl, or girl, girl, girl. We'll see. And we will probably not settle down, like really, for another 10 years. As in we'll want to be like traveling a lot. She kept seeing me with like hiking with a baby, which I was like, that'd be cute. I would love that. What else? And then, she kept saying tiny house, which is funny because that is probably what we're gonna build. Something very small. But as far as work goes, she said that I should lean into like interior design, and she expects that my first salary will be more than I'm expecting. That's great news to me, but she also said that right now, like between November and January, I'm not gonna have like my dream job, which I can wait. That's fine. Again, I just had a job interview last week, so like, what if I get into that job and don't like it, or what if I get into it and love it? I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is neither here nor there. I'm just gonna write it down and continue with my life. But she also randomly was like, what about amusement parks? And I'm like, that's so random. But also, I was thinking about that. That is so weird. I was like, a few weeks ago, I'm like, I would love to work at an amusement park as like a designer. I don't think that's actually ever something that I want to really do. I would rather do something more impactful, like a neighborhood park. But it was just funny that she randomly said that. The other thing that was actually crazy, she goes, I'm seeing something about a car, like car issues. Yeah, like maybe there's too many miles on your car. I don't know if that's a lease or what, but yeah, I was like, oh, that's funny. I mean, this morning, obviously, I had a flat tire and I'm getting really high up on my mileage and have been looking at getting a van, like a Ford Transit or something, which I tried to be so vague about things too, like like I would just kind of and just sit there in the silence if I needed to until she was like talking and forming thoughts. Okay, so what did she get wrong? Or like the random things that she said that didn't make sense for me. Oh wait, she did say I didn't like clutter. Which is funny because I don't mind clutter if it's my own. I think that's the thing. But like living with somebody, I do like things to be tidy, but whatever. Okay, she said, you're not into expensive things. Like Target is good enough. And I was like, oh, that is so wrong. But funny. She said, my tattoos. My parents don't like my tattoos, but they're all meaningful. Like, they mean something to me. And maybe I need to explain that to them. Okay, I ran out of storage, so in the middle of my huge explanation, it stopped recording. But basically, so the tattoo thing, my tattoos are very meaningless, and I get them from people I like, pretty much, and I let them do whatever they want. But there was that, and then the last thing that she said was like, do you have conflict with your sister? Like, something is wrong. And I was like, no, we get along. And yeah, maybe I'm missing something. Is Shelby, are you mad at me? Did I do something? Please reach out. And did I already say that she kept saying, oh, you had a job and there was a short, dark-haired, bossy woman. And don't take it personally. It was her that was like, had these emotions, and it isn't necessarily a reflection of you. And for the life of me, I don't know who that would be. But yeah, all in all, that's it. I will maybe do a 1-year update on if anything has changed.